What's up, folks? It's R Smokey here with TJ for Pop Nerd TV. Today, we're going to bring you our early thoughts on Conan Exiles by Funcom. So far, we've got into the alpha. We've played a couple of times. I've been messing around, running around naked a lot. I'm that kind of guy. TJ, he likes to wear his clothing, so we're not going to judge. We're not going to judge. Right now, as you can see, we're touching into the early aspects of it because the first thing you got to do is customize your character. Once you're done with your customization, you're going to end up with some pretty cool moments. Just hopping right into the game. Okay. As you can see, you can customize a lot. Right now, he's going into it, and he's giving himself a bald head with long hair. He looks pretty angry. He looks like he might be one of Shao Kahn's minions. Shang Tsung much there, TJ?
just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
No.
Oh, man. You look like one of the guys, NCIS or whatever it is. Right here is kind of creepy, the different color eyes you're picking out. It does offer a plethora of customization when it comes down to the game. So when you first start, make sure you get your character exactly how you want him. You know, don't fret around and just select a random head. Design it how you want to see it. Okay. You instantly get tossed into the game. Like, when I say instantly, I mean you're seeing it right now. You know, during the year of Cobra, a prisoner captured by unknown means was transported into the exile lands, and that's basically the premise of your entire story. Okay, you're an exile. You did a whole bunch of horrible things. Sometimes it'll give you funny, different reasons why you did it. Like, one of mine was drunken disorderly conduct. If they only understood how close that was to true. And it blows you away. It really blows you away. Right now, we're actually watching TJ's gameplay. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it on my end for my gameplay just because my graphics card isn't that good to really handle all that well. I had to play on really low resolution, and trying to open up anything to record it really was a buzzkill. Okay. What you just saw was a quick snippet of the main man, Conan. TJ, what were your first thoughts when you saw Conan?
I thought it was cool. I was wondering how Arnold Schwarzenegger learned how to talk without moving his lips, but overall, I thought it was a cool little experience. And then you're just, I don't know, just thrown in there basically naked.
Yeah. uh, if the Schwarzenegger could only see himself in 3D now. What you're seeing right now is TJ running around. He's picking up branches and wood and different things of that nature, so that way he can start crafting in the future. It's one of the smart things to do. TJ, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Okay, basically, the game has pretty much no tutorial, so you're just going to have to kind of figure stuff out for yourself. And I found out this is like my second or third playthrough, or character, I guess. And you just find out that you can just walk along and pick up branches and stone and like little plant fibers and stuff like that you'll need for crafting later on just by holding down E. And now I'm just kind of walking through the desert and just trying to figure out what's going on, because all you really have for Elite is just follow the brick road in between the yellow sand.
So you're basically Dorothy, who's about 6'2", 240 pounds, and ripped with a bald spot.
Yep.
Awesome.
Sounds exactly like the Wizard of Oz that I remember.
I tried making mine look like Donald Trump. Unfortunately, I just was not able to get him ugly enough. So when it comes down to it, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking at your gameplay and everything like that. By the way, folks, this is my first time seeing his gameplay. You did the smart thing. When I first went in, I had no idea that I could just, basically shred the grass and just supply myself with different sticks, stones, different things like that. When I started playing, it didn't give me the option. There was, like you said, there's no tutorial, absolutely no tutorial. So you kind of just run up. I ran into a couple of issues when it came to picking up items and everything like that. Like, I had to crouch down to be able to pick up certain things and to read certain text. So it was kind of gritty right there is the best way to put it. Now, if you guys are expecting a huge story, we're both going to let you know right now. There's no huge story. Right now, there's not, at least for the alpha. Maybe there is later on down the road. TJ, you want to tell them a little bit about the story, the current story?
Basically, you get saved by Schwarzenegger, and you go and survive. that is literally the entire story so far. It is very much pushing itself as a survival sim over just like an open world adventure story based game.
And that's exactly what he's saying is exactly true. You get this cool little cinematic. Like, you didn't get the full thing just now, but you do get a cool little cinematic in which you and Conan, basically in the desert, he tosses you an axe. You guys do a standoff thing around with these things chasing you and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're just there on the brick road, and you're stranded. You're just left out in the open. He emphasizes it really well. TJ did just now, with it being a survival game. That's what it is. This is through and true a survival game. As to whether or not that'll evolve, in the beta, if they put out a beta, or in the final product, we're still not sure. Personally, I would love to see an epic story. I understand it's a survival game, but I would love to see an epic story that just follows you and Conan and your adventures in this desolate land. You know, as you can see, he's still picking up a lot of rocks. He really loves he loves the Rock. He does. That's TJ's thing. He loves Dwayne the Rock Johnson. This is just a little snippet of the crafting menu. I don't know how you picked it up so quickly.
Well, like I said, this is my, I think, second character. My first character, it was pretty much just ended up sprinting along this road. Didn't even see the water skin or the book or anything at the beginning. Saw this dude coming up and I was like, cool. And so naturally, my first character's thought was, I'm gonna try to rush him and punch him, but he kind of just flies away and doesn't get really bothered by you.
Ah, yes, the Man Bat or Batman. We have yet to see that, but it's coming up real soon. My first reaction was, oh, sweet Lord, they tossed me into a survival game, didn't give me a single weapon, and I'm about to face off against a creature that looks like it could just fly away with me. Here he is. Look, you're ballsy. Look at you. Just chase right after him. I don't get the bat creature's mentality. I mean, you didn't have anything on you. Honestly, I would have just ate your head, drained your blood, and sacrificed you to Cthulhu.
He knew I was getting that pickaxe ready. He knew it was coming for him.
The Man Bat's one weakness, the pickaxe.
Now, if we can just tell Batman, he'll know.
If we could tell Batman, Martha is in the desert. We did play. I know you got to play around as a female. I played around as a female as well, and I tried crafting my character to look as much like Carrie Fisher as possible. It just didn't work out that well. Instead, I looked like a weird, dying, mutant Michael Jackson creature, and it made me very sad. So I just ended up deleting that character and starting all over again. And then I started working on it a little bit more and just decided to go with a male. And that's one of the cool things. Like, you can start over whenever you want. You don't have to if you don't like a character, you don't like the route you've taken, you can start over. Your guy right now, with all the crafting you're doing and all the breaking down and everything, you've done a great job, to be honest. Because it took me about 2 hours to really start figuring out the crafting system and stuff. I know this is like, what, your third playthrough or your second one?
It's my second, but I've also played games like Rust and Savage Lands and stuff like that, so I was a little bit more prepared. It was more just like figuring out like UI stuff and trying to figure out how to actually get the materials. Because like I said, that was the main hard part. Is you just kind of gotta press down on everything, trying to figure out how to pick up stuff
and survive. Survival. See, this is my thing. I'm a huge fan of Dead Island. And as I played this, I really found myself comparing it a lot to Dead Island, which to me was very similar. Not only in, the first person survival aspect, the crafting system as well. I know it's a more complex crafting system when it comes down to this one. The menus they have and everything like that in comparison to Dead Island. But that's what I really found myself comparing it to. Just when you start off, you get the first glimpse of, what a big bad could look like. You're not prepared. And at the end of the day, you're like a little 5-year-old child and you're crying in your bed asking for mommy to pick you up. Okay. Or as my daughter calls me, honey, pick me up. So when we get into this game, when you really start doubling into it, you really start pushing into the boundaries of how much can I play this game? Is it handling well? What are the options that I have? Now, one thing I'm going to point out, me and you discussed this earlier, is a favorites menu. I feel like this game definitely needs a favorites menu as far as crafting. Like you select, let's say you do Alt, just for the guys out there who are techie and nerds and want to laugh, you choose Alt F4, you know, and you assign it to basically craft you like spears or throwing axes, different things like that. I believe that's something that's quintessential to this game, that it feels like it's lacking heavily. Okay. Um, Now I understand that it offers us a lot of crafting options, but I feel like that's just something like, especially if you're in a tight bind. I don't like the idea of having to like, you pause basically when you go into your crafting menu and stuff to make something, and then you come out of it and you're just like, oh, it's instantly there. No, I think a quick display of crafting skills would be pretty cool, especially if you develop a character after a lengthy amount of time and stuff, and they level up, and they give you options, for different skills and abilities you can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Right now, you hit the Oasis.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And here's the first fight. As you can kind of tell, the AI doesn't do much more than just, it sees you and it knows that it has to kill you. But like with this little guy, he couldn't exactly do much. No, he just kind of just tried to hit me. I definitely think that the enemy AI can be very abused. If you're near water, or if you like can circle around him at all, you don't really have anything to worry about. They can't follow you.
I agree with that. I was actually getting chased by one of those. I'm going to call him an imp from hell.
Yeah.
I was getting chased by one of those imp from hells, and I dove in the water. I was like, screw it. You're not going to get me. Then 5 seconds later, a crocodile shows up on the other side of the bank, and I'm just like, screw me. That's one thing I definitely got to touch on is the fighting system in this. It's a simple fighting system, guys. It's not something over the top. You're not getting any super cool animatics, of course, or animations, excuse me. But you are getting a decent fighting system. It's very reminiscent to me sometimes of almost like a slowed down or toned down hack and slash, in the way your character plays. I never got to do a bow or anything like that, so I don't know how that handles in this game. However, I was running around with axes and picks and everything like that, so that's something you can see right here. Is that a torch you got there?
I haven't crafted a torch yet, because I mean the day and night cycles are pretty long in this game, but crafting the twine right now, I think, for my first sword.
Mm-hmm. See, you picked up on this a lot easier. Guys who, like you said, who played Rust and everything like that, you guys have picked up on this fairly quickly. Noobs like me, no, we're going to have a rough time. But eventually we'll pick it up. Eventually. You really love those stones.
Everything just has really high, like, crafting requirements for stuff that uses stone. So it's just one of those things where I'd rather get it and be ready. Because I think the basic, like, religious shrine in the game is like 360 stone or something like that, and then 100 plus wood, I think, or something like that. Like it's some like really ridiculously high amount for just like a very simple altar.
Yeah, I don't get why they have it so high, because I was looking into that, and I was going to, and I was like, man, that's going to be a huge grind fest for something that's going to be like a 2 foot tall little statue. It made no sense to me. The transition that you just saw, guys, is basically him going to water and everything like that. I'm hoping that the water effects kind of improve. I understand that, it's still the alpha and everything like that, but it's one of those visual things that I've always been one of those guys who's very keen on how water looks in a video game. And if it's this clear and stuff like that, it's kind of off-putting. I hope they do mug it up a little bit. I understand it's an oasis and stuff, but come on, guys. There's sand everywhere. Trust me, it's in my raccoon wounds. One thing we're going to touch on real quick is the multiplayer aspect. TJ didn't get to touch that. I did, however. And they need a level system. They need a level system, like a barrier or separate servers for different levels, like different level caps and stuff where you can challenge players. I walked into that multiplayer and I got destroyed so badly. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It's like Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson bad. So that's to give you guys an idea. Like 43 seconds. Like Ronda Rousey in her last 2 fights, I was just down like first round. Okay. Um, the handling itself, you and I both agree. The handling itself is pretty good. It's pretty good. Now we both ran into glitches. We really did. I ran into a major one. You ran into one. Go ahead and tell them about your glitch first.
As you can tell, I kind of put down like a little bed and everything there, which is kind of like if you've ever played Minecraft or anything, that sets your spawn point somewhere else. And unfortunately, I've had a glitch twice in a row where, despite setting my spawn point to the bed, it just spawns me back out in the desert upon death, which... I mean, there's a mod for coordinate system on the map, but without that like built into the game right now, it can get a little bit aggravating to have to run back because you probably won't even have your corpse in there anymore by the time you get back to it.
I don't know that feeling. It happened to me a couple of times as well. It's really frustrating, guys, especially when you're making progress and all of a sudden you get killed by something, and then you're back to square one. One thing I'm going to point out is a major glitch that happened to me. Basically, I was playing and I walked by a spawn point for a crocodile, and one croc spawned. I was like, all right, I can handle him. Had him about halfway dead. Then randomly a second croc spawned in the exact same spot. I was like, okay, a second croc, it's going to be a little bit difficult. I can survive that. Then a third one, so forth and so on. It was about 24 crocodiles that just randomly spawned in the exact same spawn point and came after me. There's nothing like seeing 24 crocodiles chase you down. And they're not slow. No, they're pretty speedy. So when you turn around, you see this little wave of green coming at you. I was like, oh man. So around the 24th croc, a little bit further down the road, the game ended up crashing. So I'm hoping that's just a one-time thing and not something we'll see occurring in the final product or in the beta. When it comes down to it, guys, this is an alpha. So of course, these are just early thoughts. So that's why me and TJ want to give you our early thoughts right now. It does have some glitches, they'll be patched by the time the final product comes out. I hope that they expand on the story. TJ hopes the same thing. So final thoughts, TJ.
I think it's fun for what it is. I'm willing to forgive a lot of like the glitches and some like the AI issues and stuff, since it, like you said, it is an alpha. I think it has the potential to be a really, really, really good survival game or an open world adventure game if they choose to go more that route. I'd love to jump more into the multiplayer to give that a try, but yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 as it is currently.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, as a guy who loves, different franchises and different games like this. I do love the survival aspect of it. It doesn't really give you that much, to start off with. It doesn't give you anything at all, So if you were in a survival scenario, that's what you're going to be facing, folks. So when you're pushing through this game and you're trying to advance and everything like that, you have to keep that mentality that, hey, it's a survival game. I need to start crafting. I need to start keeping inventory and things like that. So it's one of those games that makes you think as you play. It's not just something you're going to run around slashing everything every 5 seconds, and surviving and just having a, gleeful time. When it came down to it, glitches aside, I'm in the same boat as you. I would give it a solid 7 as is. I'm hoping that when the final product comes out, they expand on it and they give us more story, they give us more detail. Of course, you're going to get different areas and stuff that'll open up because, of course, it's not the final product again. And that's something that, to me, it was fun. It was fun when I was playing. It had its times so it was frustrating with the glitches and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I would play it again. And that's one of the things when it comes to video games, guys, you got to always consider is, am I going to spend 2 hours on this game? Or I'm going to spend 80 hours, 120 hours. Some people out there in Mass Effect, 400 hours. People out there in H1Z1, 500, 600 hours. I know I put in somewhere around 1,200 hours just in Halo, and like Halo 2 or Halo 3, whichever. Each one I put in my work. Okay, so when it comes down to it, guys, if it's a game you see yourself playing over and over again and enjoying in the future, then I recommend looking into Funcom's Conan Exiles, its title, and seeing about possibly purchasing this down the road. For right now, though, my final thoughts, TJ's final thoughts, Pop Nerd's final thoughts, it's a solid 7. Okay, we hope it the best, and we want to see it continue to grow. So when it's time, guys, Funcom, hit us up. We'll be happy to take on the beta or the final product and give you our final thoughts. But this has been R Smokey, TJ,
and TJ,
and TJ, and we are live. Well, we were live for Pop Nerd TV. Thank you so much for dropping by and watching the video. Check out the article as well, and if you got any feedback, leave it in the comment section, and make sure to give us a share.